Wisconsin just made one of the more surprising hires of the 2022 season, and college football was pretty shocked to see Luke Fickell being hired as the next Wisconsin Badgers head coach. I think a lot of people had Jim Leonhard tapped as that next guy that was going to be the head coach for Wisconsin going forward. He had the interim tag. They were just hoping to remove it. A lot of fans were, but they pick Luke Fickell. And I think that if you're going to pick someone who's not Jim Leonhard, who doesn't have serious ties to the program, you're going to pick a proven winner that's shown that he can elevate a team, a program to the next level. And that's exactly what Luke Fickell's done at Cincinnati. And that's what Wisconsin fans are hoping he can do. And today we're going to take a look at what Luke Fickell does well, what he's done well at Cincinnati, and how that's going to apply to Wisconsin. We're always going to take a look at the specifics of what Luke Fickell brings to the program. And we're going to talk a little bit about, well, let's start with this. Why Luke Fickell? Why would you choose Luke Fickell over Jim Leonhard? I think, again, if you're going to pick someone over Jim Leonhard, a guy who played for Wisconsin, who has been the defensive coordinator for Wisconsin for forever, seemingly, you're going to pick a guy who is a proven winner, who has the track record that shows that he can win at a high level. And he also brings a more modern approach, but still kind of similar to what you're looking at in Wisconsin, what Wisconsin has been trying to run. I talked about what Wisconsin needed to change a little while back, and they're just not with the times. And when you bring in a coach like Luke Fickell, it's kind of that perfect balance of you're changing things up, you're adapting with the times, but you're also bringing back some of those core values, the core defense that you want, and running the football and whatnot. So this is, I think, a great hire for Wisconsin. We're going to talk about what Luke Fickell does so well when running a program. When you look at the first thing, he's a winner. He has been a winner at Cincinnati, and he's going to do that at Wisconsin. He's going to bring Wisconsin back to winning Big Ten West titles and competing for Big Ten championships. And that's something that's kind of been falling off with Wisconsin lately, especially now that they just lost to Minnesota once again. This is a division that is seemingly wide open every year, and Wisconsin is hoping to make that less wide open by hiring Fickell. You look at what he did at Cincinnati, and you see the wins. He almost had double-digit wins in every season except for 2017. Win 9 wins this year. There's still a chance for them to win a bowl game, although he won't be coaching at this point. Last year, they go to the college football playoff. The year before that, 9-1 in a COVID year. They win the AAC championship 2 years in a row. 11 wins the year before that, 11 wins in 2018 as well. And then his first year was the 4-8 season after taking over for Tommy Tuberville. He is a proven winner. He knows how to get this program back to where it needs to be. He got Cincinnati back to being at the top of the AAC. Everybody was chasing Cincinnati for the last few years. This is a program that has set the standard for that conference. And now that they're moving to the Big 12, it'll be interesting to see what they're able to do when Fickell is gone. But this is a coach that knows how to win. He is a proven winner. And the thing that he makes him special is that he's able to elevate a program to the next level. Now, it's one thing to win at a G5 program. When you're looking at a team like Cincinnati, yes, you can win 10, 11 games, 9 games, and yes, that's impressive. But one thing that he was able to do was do something we've never seen before, and that's taking a group of 5 team to the college football playoff. They beat some solid teams like Notre Dame to get to that point, and you're looking at even some of the teams that they beat previously too. There's some solid matchups for Cincinnati, and they proved that they could hang, if not even beat some of those teams. You look at the Alabama game that they lost in the college football playoff. Sauce Gardner and Kobe Bryant were doing work against Alabama's receivers, and that was a good group of Alabama receivers. Now, they did get run over by Brian Robinson in the rushing attack, but this is a guy who knows how to recruit. He knows how to bring in teams, players that are going to elevate this program to the next level. He knows how to identify those players. Sauce Gardner is the perfect example of that. He brings a guy like Sauce in, and Sauce is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL right now. This is something that he has been doing for a little while now, and that depending on who he brings over with him, that's going to be something that Wisconsin loves to see. They're going to get a guy who is going to bring in talent that's going to take Wisconsin to the next level. I think that when you're recruiting at Wisconsin, you're getting better competition, better prospects, if you will, better recruits than you are at Cincinnati. But Luke Fickell has proven that he can find those diamonds in the rough. Sauce Gardner is the perfect example of that. Even Desmond Ritter is a great example of that. He's able to find those guys. And that's huge because when you look at what Wisconsin needs to get back to playing elite defense. They need to find a quarterback that can play at a high level and be able to pass the ball competently. And that's something that's been hurting Wisconsin for years. The joke we make every year is, what is the quarterback going to do for Wisconsin? It's a one weakness that we point out every single season. And I think Luke Fickell has the ability to identify that. Now, again, it depends on who he brings in as his offensive coordinator, if he keeps his same staff and whatnot. But this is a guy who's proven that he can recruit. He can recruit at a high level. And now he has access to the state of Wisconsin as well in terms of getting these recruits, because Wisconsin has brought in some good talent and some good recruiting classes in recent years. It's just that they haven't been able to translate that to the field. And I think Luke Fickell is going to do a great job of bringing that talent to a next level. He did it at Cincinnati, and now he's in a bigger conference. He's on a bigger stage, and I'm excited to see what he can do with that. Now, the third thing that I'll bring up is he's adaptable. I think when you've looked at even just look at the quarterback situation. Desmond Ritter 2-3 years ago, you're looking at a guy who wanted to run everything. He wanted to avoid any pressure in the pocket. He didn't want to sit in the pocket, and he wanted to just take off with his legs. And you saw Luke Fickell obviously, had an impact on Ritter and was able to show him that, hey, we're gonna be able to win games if you continue being athletic and continue doing the things that you're doing, but we're not going to get to the level that we want to reach. He sets a standard with all of his players that we don't want to just be good, we want to be great. And I think that's something that we've seen even with just Desmond Ritter, for example. You're able to show him that, hey, these are the benefits of what you're able to do if you take this next step, if you're able to challenge yourself. And I think that's something Fickell does very well, is that if something's not going right, he's not going to just drive something into the ground. And that's something that Wisconsin, I think, has struggled with over the last few years. Is, yes, they want to run the football and they want to hit play action efficiently. But right now, that's not working. A guy like Braylon Allen is only going to be able to take so many shots before he breaks down and starts getting hurt. You need a quarterback that's going to be better. And I think that this is where that modern approach comes in, combined with an old school mentality. Luke Fickell is going to play really good defense. He wants to establish the run on offense, but he still has the ability to bring in playmakers that are going to make a difference in the passing game. He's going to find a quarterback that is going to be able to throw the ball. This isn't going to be the Wisconsin team that is just going to run first and second down and then try to throw for 8+ yards on third. This is going to be a team that is very balanced with their approach, and they are going to be a team that is going to be able to throw the ball efficiently, not just because they have to, but because that's what they're good at. I think that Luke Fickell does a great job of making sure that his team is up with the times. But the other thing is that, going back to that old school mentality, they are still going to run the football. They are still going to recruit offensive linemen that are going to dominate the trenches. That's one thing that Cincinnati has done well in the last few years, is they've had really good offensive linemen. So Wisconsin fans should be very excited about that. They should be excited about the fact that they're still getting that same approach. They're just getting a modern twist on it. And that's the thing that I talked about earlier this year, was Wisconsin needs to get with the times. You can still keep that old school mentality of, we want to run the football, we want to establish the run, and still be able to throw the ball. I think that you can't just rely on your running backs to do everything. You're limiting yourself in your offense, you're limiting yourself in recruiting, and Luke Fickell is not going to do that. He is going to keep that old school mentality, but he's going to put the modern approach on it, where you're still going to be able to get the guys you want. You're going to get skill position players that are going to make an impact at quarterback, at wide receiver, not just at running back and tight end. And you're going to get a defense that is going to play a hard-nosed style of football. You're still going to look at the defenses he had at Cincinnati the last few years. They were some of the best in college football. And I think he's going to bring that. If he brings Mike Tressel with, I think that's a great addition to this coaching staff. I think that he's going to he's shown that he did really well, especially against Alabama. You saw, I think one of the biggest concerns was Mike Tressel's ability to shut down Alabama's offense was a big question mark. And while the running game obviously didn't do that, the passing defense was able to shut down, for the most part, a very explosive offense. So that is something I think you're still going to see. You're still going to get that with Luke Fickell. You're going to get a defense that is going to fly around to the football, and it's something that Wisconsin's been known for. They just haven't had a great unit like we've seen maybe 5+ years ago. I think you're going to get back to that. I think Wisconsin fans overall, after getting over the fact that Jim Leonhard is probably not going to be with the program anymore, you're probably going to see some frustrated fans. You're going to see some disappointed fans. But Luke Fickell, if you're going to hire someone that's not Jim Leonhard, Luke Fickell is a great hire. And in general, regardless of Jim Leonhard, Luke Fickell was going to be a great hire for anybody that hired him. I actually really like this fit. I think that Wisconsin is going to benefit from having a guy that brings a lot of what they liked from their previous regime and a modern twist to it as well. You see a guy who is adapted with the times, he knows how to recruit, and he's going to find a way to get his players to play at a high level. And if he can bring Cincinnati to the college football playoff, there is definitely a chance that he can bring Wisconsin to the college football playoff. I'm excited to see what Luke Fickell can do. I believe in what Luke Fickell does for his programs and for the programs he's going to lead in the future. And Wisconsin is in very good hands with Luke Fickell running the show.